Okay, we're live. Hi guys. So I'm going to put Tony on the camera here and he's going to do his thing, answer some of your guys' questions. There's Tony.
Hello. Is it going to be flipped around to the other camera or is it just that camera?
I think it can be switched, but I don't know how to do
I can
it.
see myself like a mirror so I can get my hair fixed. Anyways, so yeah, this is Tony with Ai2 Products. We're here to answer some questions we got from today's question post that Angie, I think it was this morning you posted that?
Last night.
No, last night.
Yep.
That's last night. She does all that so I don't keep track of it all. I was just, handed the list of what the questions are. And we'll kind of start at the bottom with kind of the quickie, more the quicker answer ones. And we got Brian Dube, D-U-B-E, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. It says, do your quick attachments work with the Kubota quick attach? The answer is yes. We'll look at this. Here is a Kubota quick attach right here. And they do work. They don't work as slick as they do with mine, but they are compatible with with all my stuff. What makes them kind of goofy, or I should say what makes Kubotas kind of goofy, is they have these, can you see these here, Ange? Or they have these little half moon shaped, what do you want to call them, standoffs. So when you attach to the bucket, the bushing hits here and here. They're offset. Kubota, for some reason, has always done that. I don't get why they do it. It drives me nuts. But they put, I put two bushings on. Do I have something like handy that I can show that real quick? I don't. But, so on one bushing, you'll line up and hit just fine on this one. But on the one on the inside, you won't. Because I put the longer bushing on mine to the outside on each side. I keep it symmetrical. Kubota does it. I don't know why they did that, but I've just never done it that way. And I had mine before they had theirs, so I've just stuck with my design versus copying theirs. So that's, on one side you tend to end up having to fiddle with a little bit because the pin right here, you have to drive the pin through versus leaving the pin in there and just latching onto it with what mine has. Because the pin always stays in the attachment. You never take that pin out on my design. They still make you take these stupid pins in and out. So I'm not sure why they did that. But so yes, to answer that question, it does work. It's just not as slick. But if you've already got this, it's not a problem. You can still use it and everything will work. Some guys I've seen have actually welded just another little chunk of bushing on here on the end to make it just latch a little better. But that's another option a guy can do, or even on the blade mounting plate. If I know or I remember that it's an actual Kubota quick attach you're working with, I'll weld a little additional bushing on that so it works a little better. So that is the answer to that one, Brian. The next one we got from Joe Wheeler. We got a couple ones here from Joe. Is there interest in starting to make a thumb for the BH? Well, which would that be, the BH or the BT backhoe is what it is. He must have misspelled that. But at some point, yes, there will be a backhoe thumb option with hydraulic actuation versus manual. That's the down the pipe or in the pipeline. The other thing is with the backhoe, we're going to still have some attachments for that. Keep saying I'm going to do it, and I just haven't got to it. But we'll have a rear quick attach for the backhoe, and then different buckets and options for that as well, and like a little rake option and everything for that. The other question Joe has here is the difference between the buckets you manufacture. Well, we make three different buckets. We got the 48-inch standard rock bucket, the 50-inch high volume dirt bucket, and then the 60-inch light material bucket. Now you can see, come with me, Angelo, up here, can you point it up to you can see up there, that's the 60-inch light material bucket. So that's for your high volume, like snow removal, grass clippings, mulch, leaves.
And there's one over there we could show them too.
Well,
that's closer.
We'll get to that one though, because that's a little different. But that's what that one's designed for. It's It doesn't replace your dirt bucket, but it actually, it's just an addition you would use with your dirt bucket, because the Kubota is designed to handle that dirt bucket full of dirt is about all that Kubota is going to handle. So you're not going to get. You can try to fill it full of dirt on a light material bucket, but it isn't going to pick it up. It will just sit on the ground. So then we got the 50-inch heavy-duty dirt bucket that sits up here. Oh no, we got one right back here. We'll go to this. We got one sitting on the ground that I use on my tractor. And Angie's got to keep up with me because I got the microphone. That's what this one is. So it's a heavy-duty bucket with a tooth bar on it. And this tooth bar is actually going to be also made to work with the 80 series bucket. I'm going to make it just a hair narrower, because this is a 50-inch wide where the factory one's 48 inches wide. And this one's a little taller, so it's a higher volume bucket. And my tractor will pick this up full of dirt. She's working hard to do it, but it'll do it. And then this one has the spill guard option, and then, like I said, the tooth bar option. But that's kind of the difference between the three buckets. You know, so you got the rock bucket, which is obviously for sifting rocks and everything out of the ground. And you can kind of see that. Well, we got one up there on that rack. And then we'll get to a little better shot of that here in a little bit. Come back with me and we'll go back to the other questions. This other one was from Bob Light. Bob asked about, what's the deal with the hydraulic pressure for the front end loader? Gauges and shims, something to boost pressure. What that is, because this is something a lot of guys are doing, is what it is Kubota comes factory with a 2,500 pound PSI hydraulic system, but they have it derated through a relief valve to run at 1750, or at least it's supposed to be. In a lot of tractors, that pressure is below the 1750 level. And Mike Paletti out there with BotaAttachments.com, by the way, he sells that, and I have one of his kits, and I'm going to be doing a video on that on mine, right? I'll put that kit in and then actually show the before pressure and after pressure. Because what we're finding on a lot of these BXs is that say they're supposed to be at 17 to 1750 psi for your relief valve pressure, and some of them are coming in at 1600, 1550. So what that relief valve does is once say you're lifting something with the backhoe or the loader, it's the whole hydraulic system. When it reaches whatever that set pressure is, 1750, excuse me, the flow quits going to the cylinder and it bypasses and goes right back to the tank. Of course, that compressor has to be in.
They should be able to still hear you because of that mic. Sorry about the noise.
You got the worst timing in the world. It'll only be a couple minutes. But so what that does is those shims, I think what Kubota's doing in the factory is say they've got 5 shims they put in, they just put 5 shims in. Regardless, I don't think they're really checking the pressure, and then those shims are up against a relief valve spring. And what'll happen is maybe the spring rate is a little off on the springs, because having consistent spring rate on every spring is pretty tricky to get. So that's why you shim them to get that, because what you're doing is compensating for the spring pressure that isn't there. You know, if all the springs were equal and everything was exactly the same, you just throw the spring in there and you wouldn't have to mess with it. But what happens is each spring's got a little different length, a little different spring pressure or spring rate, so you're compensating that way. So what guys are doing is buying the shim kit, bumping that relief valve pressure back to that 750, and what a lot of guys are doing is bumping them up to the 1950 to 2000 psi pressure. Excuse me again. And what that does is gives you about 20% increase in lift capacity. So that will actually kind of wake up the hydraulic system, get it back up to where it should be functioning, and that's really what that relief valve kit is all about. It comes with a gauge. If you buy Mike Paletti's kit, it has a gauge on it. So you hook it to one of the outlets of your valve. Like you just unplug one of your loader outlets, put this thing in there, and then you just deadhead it. So it'll bounce that gauge up to whatever that pressure is, so you can see what your baseline pressure is, if it's at 1650 or 1700 or whatever that is, and then add shims in 2000s, 3000s, 4000s, whatever shim you need to bump that thing up to where it should be. And that Mike designed that kit to make it, to bring it back up to where factory settings are supposed to be, but most guys bump them up beyond that, which nobody seems to have any problem with that. And it does kind of bring that loader a little bit back to life and give it a little more lift capacity. I do have a customer in North Carolina that's bumped his up to 2200, and he said it makes a hell of a difference in the lift capacity, but you got to be careful with it because it'll lift more than it'll get a little unruly if you're not careful with it. But so that's what the hydraulic pressure thing is.
Real quick, guys, before he moves on to the next question, I just wanted to let you guys know, if you're liking the information, make sure you give us a like on this video so we can keep more of these coming. We'll go to the next one.
Yeah, we'll go. And Bob had another quick question about subsoiler attachment for the 3-point. I don't really do anything with 3-point hitch attachments so much because there's so many people out there that do that. The subsoilers, basically rippers is what they are. I guess I don't really know how well they work. I'm not real familiar with those things as far as how well it does. If you buy like a box blade, that typically has a subsoiler in it, so you could set that to really rip up the ground in front of you. So,
did you see this additional question that Bob just asked?
Oh, where's the relief? It's on the back of the transmission. My tractor's kind of locked. I don't know if we can see it. It's a little plug in the back of the transmission. And I'm not sure if I can see it on mine right now.
Just in case you guys can't see this question that was just asked, where is the pressure release valve located?
It's right.
I don't know if I can get this in there. You might have to take it.
It's basically, Bob, it'd be like right here. It's one of these two. I can't remember. It's one of these ports right here. You take it out, and then that spring is inside that. Guys I've talked to that have actually put it in say it's about a 10-minute deal. It's pretty quick and simple once you know where your baseline pressure is at. I've actually got to do mine yet. If you go online, there are videos of guys that have done it. And then when I do mine, I will actually make a video of doing it. And then what we'll do after that is prior to doing it, we'll do a lift capacity test with the forks to see what it lifts at baseline. And I'll tell you what my baseline pressure was when we started. And then we'll bump the pressure up to probably that 1950, 2000 psi range, and then do another lift test to see what the difference really is. Because that seems to be, people tend to throw numbers all over the place as to what the lift capacity is or what the gain is. Some guys are saying, well, I bumped it up 200 psi and I got 200 pounds of extra lift. Well, it's not really quite that. It's not that much. I think you're going to gain about 50 pounds. If you take what it is now, it's a 20% increase. And I've talked to my hydraulics people I work with at Hydraulic Specialty in Blaine, Minnesota, and they've basically got schematics of the entire BX hydraulic system, and we're working on a couple of little projects or products for that as well. But we've discussed that, and that's really what that is you're gaining 20%. If you went 2200, you're gaining 40%. So it does make quite a difference when you get up into that higher pressure. But I wouldn't really. Guess I wouldn't recommend it. The guy that I know that has done this never had any, never broke anything, never had any front axle issues. But your front tires are your limitation in most cases. These front tires that they come with, which I think I've seen some stuff on the BX page. Hey, Chris Sporting just said hi. Hey, Chris. I need to talk to you, by the way. So give me a call. It's like, no, I lost my train of thought. Damn it. Shit, where was I at?
I don't know. We can move on to the next question,
okay. Well, I know. Andy's trying to rush them out. Front tires. They're kind of a weak point. And there was some guy on the BX page that just put an aftermarket set of tires on there. I don't remember what his name was, but he found some heavy duty ones to replace some front tires. So if you want to go to heavier duty set, look on there and somebody's got it. So now we'll get to John Ritter. He was kind of he had the first question, but we're going to answer his last, because that one's a little more in depth. It says, do you have any plans for making industry standard skid steer quick attach implements for the new 80 series BX tractor? And the answer is yes. We're working on that right now, and that's what this little right here is. This is the new 80 series rock bucket. This is actually the second version of that, because the first version I built it off the original height, and we had to make this one about an inch taller because the hitch is so damn tall on the skid loader hitch that we have to get that. The mount got so low that it was damn near dragging in the ground, so we had to bring this up. So now we've got about an inch and a half of clearance from here to the ground. So that was an issue. This one just got put together today, but it works with what Kubota calls the swift hatch hitch, and that's what I'm trying to think of what else we did to this one. I think that's it on this one. So it's virtually the same as the previous model, but we just added a skid loader hitch to it. And then right now, so that was the very first one. No, I should say that's the third one, because we did two previous ones which are both gone, and now that one. This is going to be the new, I've had a lot of people asking about this. This is going to be the new receiver hitch mounted, quick attach mounted receiver hitch. It's a mouthful to say that. But this is what's going to be available now here for the new 80 series. So the guys that want to move trailers around, that's what this thing does. It lays right on, hooks onto the quick attach, or the swift attach I should call it, and then you just lock it down like a normal attachment. You know, you can just pick it up, it's not that heavy. It's all made out of 3/16 plate. And the nice thing about this one, they said this one's going to go in for powder coat here this week, but it comes apart. It comes apart, and that's for two reasons: for shipping, and then one that makes this thing very adjustable. So if you notice here, you've got multiple holes, so you can move this thing up and down, or you can actually take this whole thing and flip it upside down and get it up higher or lower. Because the problem is with this new, you want to come over here, Ange? The 2410 hitch is when you're sitting on the tractor, and if you want to get that hitch somewhere where you can actually see it, and this big plate blocks a lot of your visibility. So I made that adjustable so you can bring it up here so you can see where your hitch is at, or get it down low so you can see where your hitch is at. It just kind of depends on what works for you and your application. If you got taller hitches or taller trailers, you can run it up taller or higher on your mount. If you don't, obviously you're not going to get under the ball. But that's what this is going to be, or that's what this is. So this is brand new. And then the other one is the new 80 series light material bucket. And that's what we got over here. So this one just got put together today, actually. It's just tacked together. But that's what this is. It's got the skid loader design hitch, or the swift hatch hitch on here. And not sure if we're going to keep this in here or not. This had to get really thin right here, this wall, because when you put the quick hitch on there and you run your handles down, it just clears by about maybe 1/8 of an inch. And it depends on how the handles are bent. You might have to bend yours back a little bit so it doesn't, like on mine, this one clears by quite a bit. On this side it's a little closer, so it's like the handles are not bent exactly the same. So that's what this is now, the new 80 series light material bucket. I've had people been asking about this. This is what it's going to look like. And
come around to this side.
You can see here we've made some changes to this from the original one. It's now got this internal bucket. And we've always had this gusset here, but now we added this one as well. And this one now has 5 wear plates on the bottom. I don't think I can pick this up without it falling off. Heavy little shit. You can kind of see here. There are 5 wear plates on this one, so you've got a lot of protection on the bottom of the bucket shell. And what that also does is, since the skid loader hitch, with the way that puts a lot of strain on the back of the bucket, so now that large gusset in the bucket that you saw, it rests right across here. So now when I see here, this is laying right on top of that one on both sides. And then this gusset here that gussets the back of the bucket runs through the center line on this side, Angela.
I can't see the screen.
That gusset basically runs right through the center line of this plate. So when you're putting all the force of the tractor on here, it's being transferred across all this extra support so it doesn't pull the back of the bucket apart. The other design we had longer plates in here to help with that as well. And then this is just kind of help with twist, but with the skid loader hitch, you're probably not going to see as much twist, although I have heard of some guys twisting and bending those things. So I'm not sure what they're doing to do that, but Kubota made that thing pretty beefy, and it actually weighs 100 pounds, so it's it's a little bit of a chunk to try to manhandle when I put that on here. But that's the first 3 attachments so far that have been updated for the 60 or the 80 series tractor. Then the snow plow, which I just got these put together here. These are being updated as well. Actually, this is the last year's version. We have a new one coming out that'll have hydraulics on it. I just haven't got the damn thing done yet.
That's BX or 80?
Pardon?
That's BX or 80?
Well, they're all BX,
okay.
But this is the older generation. This has got the standard. In an 80 series, this would work on an 80 series if you didn't put the skid loader hitch on. We kind of call it the 80 series because that skid loader style hitch is not a factory option. Most dealers are just ordering it that way, but it isn't actually a factory standard option. It has to be ordered with that. So if you didn't get it, you could actually still run my quick attach and this style hitch on the new 80 series if it didn't come with that. So you're not forced to take that design hitch because it is a heavy hitch. I mean, like I said, you got 100 pounds on there.
See some of his other questions on there?
Yeah, let me finish this one now. But so that's the scoop with that. Anyway, what was this one now? Some custom made fuel filters. Filter relocation kit. Yeah, Mike Paletti does that as well. BotaProducts.com. The way it sounds, he can't even keep up with those things. They go out the door pretty fast. And I actually have one of them that he sent me, and we'll be installing that and doing a video on the install of that relocation kit. So that'll be another upcoming video, as well as the BX. What the heck is that called? The rear auxiliary valve kit. I've got the rear auxiliary valve kit for my BX25D, and that we're going to do a video on. If you go to your dealer, they're going to tell you can't buy it. And I can't remember what it's a BX, like a 7316 or something is what the kit number is called. You have to actually buy it through your salesman because it's a whole goods part, not a part through your. It's kind of goofy how Kubota does that, but you talk to your salesman, you can get it. It's about a $350 kit, but it gives you 2 other auxiliary valves. Kind of walk this way again, Angela. Tethered to me, or I'm tethered to her, one or the other. Well, let's look over here at this kit quick, and then I'll kind of show it. I'll just go into this real briefly. It's the BX 7326 rear auxiliary valve kit. I've got it all in a box here. I've got to put it in. I've had it laying there for about a year. I've had people asking about it. And what it does is, we jump on the tractor here. Most of you guys probably have noticed this little slot right here. This is where that auxiliary valve kit goes. There's actually 2 levers that pull up through here, and then you get another decal that has your little hydraulic schematic or diagram on it, and it gives you 2 outlets that mount to the back. And it's really the cheapest way to add auxiliary valves. Oops, I'm looking at the ceiling there. Over the third function valve kit. A lot of guys go with the third function valve kit, which works good because it gives you a little button right here and you can operate it really slick. We're going to make a kit that plugs into that auxiliary valve and then still has a hose kit that you can adapt to run off the front. We just got to get that done. What else was that? There's more on that.
We'll
Can
see
I
more.
see more? Making. Oh, am I going to make something like that? I'm not sure if I'll make something like that as far as the filter relocation kit. Kind of bouncing around here a little bit. So I say right now, Mike Paletti at botaproducts.com makes that. So if you want, I'm not even sure what the price is on it. I'd have to look. He just sent me one so I can kind of mess with it. And I actually need to make a bracket for it. But yeah, at this point, I'm probably not going to do it. I do have a new hydraulic cooler product we're working on right now for you guys that like to shear these little plastic fans off. I haven't done mine hasn't sheared off yet, but I'm sure at some point it will. And we're coming up with a auxiliary cooler kit to just eliminate that damn fan altogether because it's a hokey setup and it's a cheap fan to buy. I think it's a $5 fan, but it's a weekend project to put the damn thing in because you got to either pull your motor loose and drag it forward or your tranny loose and drag it backward to get the shaft out. If you take it to your dealer, it's about a $600 fix, I believe. I don't remember how many hours it takes for them to do that, but it's a lengthy one. So that is where we're kind of going with things right at the moment. We've got several different products in the works. It just comes down to getting time to do them all. And right now, I say the snow stuff is the big one. And then we also got a snow pusher that'll be hopefully coming out. I don't know if it's going to make it out this year or not because I just haven't been able to get to it. But and that will be for both the skid loader design and the BX or the standard BX hitch. But I don't think we have any more questions right now. But yeah, I think that pretty much covers it. I've probably taken up enough of your time right now. I can go on and on for this stuff. But what do you think, Angie?
Yeah, I think this was awesome. I think we're going to try to do this on a regular basis to answer questions live. We absolutely, totally, sincerely love you guys. I mean, our customers, that's why we're here. We're committed to the products. We're committed to the customers. This guy right here is somebody who, he's very, very quality oriented. He's a perfectionist, and that's what you're going to get with the product. So yes, make sure that if you haven't already, like our page, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, all that good stuff, and we'll keep these videos coming for you guys. So thanks very much for watching.
Yes, thank you. We're kind of getting this fine-tuned to make sure it works a little better. This one worked better now because we actually prepared people instead of just bams threw it in their face and said, hey, we're doing something live.
Yeah, we're kind of new to this stuff, but we're working on it.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
See you later.
Bye.